That rubber bullet shot was not from our client.
A lawyer representing two Nairobi police officers accused of assaulting a street vendor has abruptly withdrawn from the case, citing a wave of threats from Kenya's powerful online youth movement, Gen Z. Felix Keaton, who was defending officers Masinde Barasa and Duncan Kiprono, announced on Wednesday, June 18, 2025, that he was stepping down due to serious concerns for his personal and family's safety. The case centers on a shocking incident captured on video in Nairobi Central Business District on June 17, 2025. Officers Masinde Barasa and Duncan Kiprono, based at Kileleshwa Police Station, were filmed allegedly assaulting Boniface Kariuki, a 22-year-old street vendor selling face masks. In the footage, one officer slaps Kariuki, while another strikes him with the butt of a gun before a shot is fired at close range, leaving Kariuki critically injured. The vendor was rushed to Kenyatta National Hospital, where he remains in stable condition after emergency surgery. The video quickly went viral, sparking widespread outrage across Kenya. The incident has become a flashpoint for the country's digitally mobilized youth, particularly Gen Z, who have taken to social media to demand justice and police accountability. The hashtag Justice for Boniface trended nationwide, with many accusing the National Police Service of enabling brutality and impunity. Felix Keaton, the lawyer initially representing Barasa and Kiprono, revealed the intense pressure that led to his withdrawal. He stated, "In the interest of my personal safety and that of my family, I have taken painful but necessary decision to cease all legal representation in this matter." Keaton disclosed that he received over 1,000 threatening calls and messages warning him to abandon the case. Disturbingly, he added that the threats extended beyond himself, with family members also receiving menacing messages. The threats are allegedly linked to Kenya's Gen Z, a tech-savvy youth movement known for mobilizing online to challenge authority. This case has amplified their calls for transparency and an end to police violence, echoing protests sparked by the death of blogger Albert Ojwang in police custody earlier in June 2025. Gen Z's activism has put an unprecedented pressure on institutions, with many praising their courage while others question the ethics of targeting individuals like Keaton. Officers Barasa and Kiprono appeared at the Milimani Law Courts June 19, 2025 to face charges related to the assault and shooting of Boniface Kariuki. The National Police Service interdicted both officers, who were processed by the DCI's homicide team, though some have questioned why a homicide unit is involved since Kariuki survived. The officers' legal team, now without Keaton, had previously argued that Barasa did not fire the shot and claimed the incident was a case of mistaken identity.
That shot, that rubber bullet shot, was not from our client. And I will invite you to consider the angle. Whereas there were two police persons allegedly following this person, the question that begs our attention is where that rubber bullet emanated from. We've had interaction from our client, and he's saying
we have reasons to assume that the police, led by the DCI and the IPOA, depended on an AI-generated image to arrest our client, but that is an issue that we will have our field day in court.
And what raises eyebrows is the manner in which the homicide division of the DCI came into the matter. The homicide division unit can only come when the person is deceased or when we have lost someone, but we have not lost anyone, and yet we have the homicide unit coming to investigate.
This case has become emblematic of the escalating tensions between Kenya's law enforcement and its youth. The shooting of Kariuki, coupled with other recent allegations of police brutality, has fueled distrust in the National Police Service. Human rights groups and activists, including the Law Society of Kenya, have condemned the incident, calling for a swift prosecution and systemic reforms to address police impunity.
Anarchy, an act of impunity that goons can be deployed as a tool for repression against people expressing their democratic and constitutional rights. The police, instead of upholding law and order, watched on and even participated in the thuggery. We have seen images of police officers looting and making away with laptops from shops broken in by the goons. Sadly, those whom the people of Kenya have entrusted to protect their lives and property are at the heart of undermining the safety and security of Kenyans. Against the backdrop of recent acts of disproportionate violence perpetrated by the police over the recent months, the complicity and acquiescence of the police amid runway crimes against peaceful protesters and onlookers alike discloses a worrying trend of our national police service being reduced to a conduit of violent crime.
Either elected or appointed in any position of government, it is the right of Kenyans to give their voice about the conduct of your office. They may criticize you because you are in a public office. It is despicable ya kwamba Mkenya anatoa malalamishi ati kurudisha mkono serikali inaondoa maisha ya huyo Mkenya. It is diabolical. It is very wrong.
The family of Boniface Mwangi are now demanding to know their son's offense that warranted an officer to open fire, saying he was only fending for himself by selling the face masks.
Sina mtoto mwingine, kijana ni wao tu, ni huyo tu. Askari asikwe ama atoke kwa kazi.
Meuliwa wengi, wasasi tunalia usiku na mchana.
Huyu askari Mungu amuone kwa kitendo ametufanyia. Mambo ambayo hatukuwa naye, sasa tuna huzuni, nyumba yetu ni ya chini.
Na waomba hawa ni watoto wetu. Tafadhali usiwe mtoto mwingine tena.
As Barasa and Kiprono face the law, Kenya watches closely. Will justice be served for Boniface Kariuki? Can Gen Z's online activism drive lasting change in the country's police force? Or will this case deepen the divide between citizens and law enforcement?
It was even difficult to realize between the goons and the protesters. Normally we have what you call the diversionary issues in terms of how people work. We have been seeing goons working or rather attacking us through what you call the stones. They might have even changed to be using the fimbles in terms of attack. And that's why we are already in what you call a troubled zones. And the troubled zones, once you overreact, the situation become more.
The fight for accountability continues and the world is watching. What do you think about Gen Z's role in this case? Should Felix Keaton have stayed on despite the threats? Drop your comments. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.